Here I have all of the ingredients necessary to make up the ink mixture. I have vegetable oil, a measuring cup, a mixing pot, a small sponge, and the powdered charcoal ink. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my measuring cup, which is a 1/3 cup, but you don't have to use that much. And I'm going to scoop out the powder and put it into our mixing pot. Because the ratio is 1:1, I will now pour the vegetable oil into my measuring cup, and then I'll pour it into our measuring pot. Now I'm going to use the sponge to mix the mixture, and I'll also use the same sponge to apply the ink to our masking tape later on. Now it's all mixed up, and we have a nice solution here, as you can see, and we can use that later on. Here we have a flattened hedgehog tunnel. We also have the board, which will be placed inside, 2 pieces of white paper, masking tape, 8 paper clips, and of course a small dish where we can place our bait. In order to construct our hedgehog tunnel, you just need to place the tabs inside of the holes. If you find that your tabs are not sticking inside of the holes, you can always place a piece of tape over the top of the hedgehog tunnel to secure it in place. And there we go, there's the outer shell of our hedgehog tunnel. Now we're going to work on the inside. I'm going to wrap my tape around the board a few times. Here it's really important that you make it wide enough so that a hedgehog is unable to step over the tape, eat the bait, and leave without leaving us any footprints. We're going to put this strip of tape on 2 sides. Here's one. Now I'm going to start making the other side. As you can see, both strips are just a little bit wider than my own hands. The bait will eventually be placed in between these strips of tape. Now we're going to place a piece of white paper on the board, and it will be held down with paper clips. I only have 4 paper clips, so I'm just using 2 per side, but I would suggest that you use 4 per side as it will be more secure. Now that our paper is in place, we're ready to put our ink down. I'm going to use the sponge, which I used to mix our ink earlier, to place the ink onto the tape. As you can see, I'm making the ink wide enough and long enough so that, again, a hedgehog is unable to avoid it. Now that that's done, we're ready to slide the board into our hedgehog tunnel. But of course, before we slide it all the way in, we're going to place our bait in between the 2 strips of tape. Then we'll slide it all the way in. And that's it. That's our hedgehog tunnel.